You say yes when you want to say no. You smile when something bothers you. You agree to keep the peace, because being liked feels safer than being real. But here's the problem. The Stoics understood this. They didn't seek approval. They didn't bend their values to avoid discomfort. They stood firm. Marcus Aurelius said, "The approval of others? It's a distraction." He wasn't cold, he was clear. And clarity is what gives you power. Most people-pleasing habits come from fear. Fear of rejection, fear of being judged, fear of being alone. But fear is no compass, and a life lived by it is no life at all. So the question is, are you ready to stop performing and start living with intention? The Stoic path doesn't demand you be rude or isolated. It demands you be centered, grounded, true to yourself even when others disapprove. People-pleasers suffer silently. They suppress their needs, they overextend, and eventually, they break. Why? Because no one is built to carry the weight of everyone else's expectations. Stoics know that the only approval that matters is their own. If their actions align with reason and virtue, that's enough. They don't chase praise. They don't explain their every move. They lead themselves. Think about Epictetus. He was born a slave, and yet he walked freer than most kings. Why? Because he refused to be mentally enslaved by the opinions of others. This isn't about being indifferent. It's about being unshakable. When you stop needing validation, you gain presence. You start showing up as you, not a version curated for comfort. And that's when real respect shows up. Not the cheap surface-level kind that comes from always agreeing, but the deep kind. The kind built on authenticity, on firmness, on calm power. Some will pull away when you stop pleasing. Let them. Their discomfort is not your responsibility. Your job is not to manage others' reactions. It's to live in alignment with who you are becoming. If this is hitting home, subscribe and tap the bell. This space is for those ready to trade approval for clarity and noise for stillness. Detachment from praise doesn't make you passive. It makes you potent. It clears your field of distractions. It sharpens your judgment. Because now, your energy isn't scattered chasing applause. It's focused, directed inward, fueling real growth. This is how you become stoically unshakable. You set boundaries not to punish, but to preserve. You speak your truth not to provoke, but to stand tall. You act, not to gain favor, but to live in integrity. In a world begging for conformity, the Stoic dares to be whole. The more honest you are with yourself, the less tolerance you have for shallow living. You no longer say yes to things that drain you. You don't pretend to enjoy what you don't. You don't nod along when your gut screams no. You choose alignment over acceptance. And that's the shift. You stop seeking soft landings and start seeking firm ground. You stop asking, will they like me? And start asking, am I living true? That's how self-respect is built, layer by layer, decision by decision. You were not made to be agreeable. You were made to be aligned. There will be discomfort. There will be pushback. But with each moment you honor your truth, you grow stronger, sharper, freer. So now ask yourself this: are you living for applause or for authenticity? Because your peace doesn't live in their approval. It lives in your conviction. Stay silent when needed, speak when it matters, and move with the quiet force of someone who needs nothing, but chooses everything with intention. If you're ready to stop performing and start leading, hit subscribe. This is where you reclaim your center.